going on? Jeff Hardy, the Charismatic Enigma here, and you are watching the Common Sense Ain't Common podcast.
Bitch, I'm that damn good. Smoking on some good, some rosy on the wood. Standing on the shit so you can get it understood. It's pedigree in me because I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good. Smoking on some good, something rosy on the wood. And bitch, I got the belt so you just get it understood. It's pedigree in me because I'm that damn good. Bitch, I'm that damn good. Rigo behind her, I'm about to give her that weight. Yeah, she ain't living like China. Earning my stripes like referee. I put a ring on the Stephanie. Me and the team is building a legacy, winning the gold separately. It's time to play the game. I had to change the name. Rolly the band is playing. You couldn't find a stain.
Bitch, I'm that damn good.
Smoking.
Yeah, yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 25, the Royal Rumble recap. We have returned from St. Louis. We've returned from St. Louis in one piece. And I guess that's kind of a big deal from what I've heard. But I am your host of the Common Sense Ain't Common podcast, the illustrious Dame Don. Welcome everybody, welcome. We do have a lot of new subscribers, so if this is your first episode, welcome to the Common Sense Ain't Common podcast. I am your host. I did just say that. Welcome though. On this episode, I'm basically just going to be giving you a recap of the Royal Rumble. I do have a before we get started, so let's just jump right into that. Firstly, I want to say I appreciate all the love, all the support, all the subscribers. My Instagram has been going fucking nuts since I left the Royal Rumble. It still is right now. So if you have not seen the pictures and the videos and things like that, please head over to my Instagram at DonLife with 2 N's and 2 E's. And also the Twitter is at Dame Don, but there's nothing really. I didn't really post anything on Twitter, but everything is on the Instagram. Please check out the Instagram. Go like some of those pictures. Go ahead and subscribe. Do all of that good stuff. Like this video too. Go ahead and push that little button down there. Push that. But before we get started, let's just go ahead and dive right in because there is a lot that I want to cover. Before we get into the actual Royal Rumble recap, I do just want to say there was a lot of great interviews that dropped this week. If you have not heard these, please go listen to them. Becky Lynch did the Broken Skull podcast with Stone Cold. Nia Jax was on Oral Sessions with Renee Young. Jade Cargill did Talk is Jericho with Chris Jericho. There has been a lot of great interviews that came out this week, and it was actually kind of cool to see, to see Becky Lynch talk about the Nia Jax incident, and then the next day, the interview with Nia Jax drops, and she's talking about the incident as well. So they both do talk about the punch. Nia Jax talks about how she thought it was actually Lana that she was punching and not Becky Lynch. So I definitely suggest everybody go take a listen to all of those interviews. I do feel like, though, Nia Jax had a lot of comments about, WWE and the Royal Rumble and things of that nature. She had a lot of comments, but I feel like the main thing in the interview that stuck out was this part right here. This is what stuck out to me the most.
I remember, that is what got to me. I was just like, that's not me. You know me, and it's hard to keep saying that to people when you know me, but then you're on TV and people are like, well, that's not what I saw. And that was that blurred line where I was just like, even on Total Divas, I couldn't be Lena. It was still Nia Jax. That was one thing I took away where I was like, dang, the line was so blurred. Even when I got nominated for People's Choice Award, it was Nia Jax. You know what I mean? That's so freaking weird to me. I got I think it was the first ever See Her award, and it was Nia Jax. I'm like, so when you look back on it, and WWE owns all that, right? So I don't get any kind of, I literally walk away with nothing because that's totally owned by them.
God, I've never really thought of that in those terms, but yeah.
I walk away and I'm like, hey, it's actually Lena. And they're like, well, we don't know Lena. But that's who it was the entire time. And so it blurs the line and it makes you feel, it is a mind fuck. It does mentally get to me. My mom was just she was got super emotional one day and she was like, where's Lena?
That's just crazy because I've never thought about it from that perspective. Once you are released, once you are even if you're not released, but like you just retire or whatever, and you're no longer this person, like how do you deal with everything being in the name of The Undertaker and not Mark Calloway? How do you deal with everything being in the name of Hulk Hogan and your name is Terry? Like Nia Jax made a great point. Like, what about Lena? Like that to me, it scared me in a way. Like it really did scare me in a way. I don't know what about it, but something about that really scared the shit out of me. That line right there. Breaking news: Brian Kendrick was granted his release from WWE and was headed straight to AEW with a non-compete clause. And this was the first time that this has happened. Like he was just released, non-compete. Nobody even knew he was released. It was just announced that he was facing Jon Moxley on Dynamite. Then it came out that he had made all of these racist comments about the Holocaust, and I'll put it up on the screen here. He basically made all these racist comments about the Holocaust and things like that, so of course they weren't going to allow him into the company after that. I was going to read it to you, but it's actually on my phone, so I can't read it to you, but I will post it so you can read it yourself. But he basically made these comments about the Holocaust and things like that, and I don't know, just some really wild stuff. And then basically just came out and apologized and was like, oh, these weren't my thoughts, you know, the whole I'm young, it was young, you know, the whole shtick, the whole I apologize, it was old shtick. I guess we're just going to start with AEW. Bryan Danielson came out and he offered a faction to Jon Moxley after Moxley faced somebody else. I don't even know. But he faced somebody else. Bryan came out and offered him a faction with 5 guys. And to me, I think you should throw Dante Martin in there too. I don't remember if he said Dante Martin or not. But if he didn't, you should throw Dante Martin in there too. I feel like that would be a really good push for Dante, and it would obviously turn him heel, but it's something that he needs at this point. I feel like only Brandy can turn Dan Lambert face. Only Brandy can turn him face. Everything Dan Lambert said about Brandy Rose was true. The whole Brandy from the block persona, we can all tell it's fake, Brandy. Please stop. The whole having the baby and then coming back and feeling entitled, all of that is true. He didn't tell one lie the entire promo. And I think that's why they were cheering him, because he was telling the truth. That is how we all feel. Brandy is very entitled. Brandy is really just kind of there because of Cody. She is not that great. And she's really just really cringe-worthy to me. Brandy is so cringe. Like, every time she talks, she's cringe. She's cringe on Roads to the Top. I literally watched one episode of Roads to the Top, and I couldn't do it anymore. Like, I love wrestling. I love wrestling reality shows. So, like, the fact that I couldn't watch Roads to the Top is a problem. Brandy is so cringe. I hate it. Like, I'm sure she's a really nice person, but the way she comes off, I don't like her at all. I don't like her. So just for a second, let's talk about CM Punk. Past week, I ruffled a couple of feathers. I decided to go ahead and go into this wrestling group and completely troll. The people that know me and have been watching this podcast for quite some time, you know I don't give a shit about CM Punk. You know that I much rather would see AJ Lee skip for 3 hours than watch a CM Punk match. This is something we all know. I hate CM Punk. I don't even want to get into it. I'm just not a CM Punk fan. I don't like CM Punk at all. But I seen that MJF beat CM Punk on Wednesday on Dynamite. He beat him twice, actually, in his hometown. I didn't watch the match. But when Austin Theory just beat Finn Balor was buried. And you can say Finn Balor has been buried since 2017. Finn Balor has been buried since he lost the title. Finn Balor has been buried since he went away from his injury. Finn Balor hasn't had momentum since he faced Roman Reigns. Shut the fuck up. These are all things I have heard in the last 2 or 3 days because people want to sit and argue with me about my point. If Austin Theory can beat Finn Balor and that buries Finn Balor, whatever the history of Finn Balor being buried is or not, Nobody talked about the history of Finn Balor being buried. They said Austin Theory beat Finn Balor, so he was buried. So that's the story we're going with. That's what y'all said. So over here, MJF beat CM Punk, but MJF didn't just bury CM Punk. Why didn't he bury CM Punk? Because it's in AEW and it's okay? If MJF and CM Punk had taken place in WWE, let's say MJF had never even went to AEW. Let's say that. MJF had never even went to AEW. MJF and CM Punk, this young up-and-comer, beats CM Punk on Monday Night Raw. You're going to sit here and tell me that y'all aren't going to say MJF just buried CM Punk? If it was on Monday Night Raw, that's what y'all are going to sit and tell me. So if Finn is buried, CM Punk is buried. That is the end of the discussion. This argument is strictly about principle for me. I am not a CM Punk fan. I actually really do like MJF. I really do like MJF. I'm not a CM Punk fan. I'm just not a CM Punk fan, so I don't care to sit and defend him or be on his side or anything of that nature. But if you're gonna sit and say Finn Balor was buried because Austin Theory beat him, MJF just buried CM Punk, and then people are gonna say, oh, but MJF has a bright future. They see a lot in MJF. So what's the difference? Clearly they see a lot in Austin Theory. Clearly Austin Theory is going to be this next big thing. I don't know why everybody just decided to hate Austin Theory all of a sudden. Everybody liked him 2 years ago when he was with Seth Rollins and the Messiah, and then they sent him back down to NXT, and now they bring him back up and nobody likes him. I don't get that. Do y'all not like him because he beat Finn Balor? Why does nobody like Austin Theory now? Is it the selfie gimmick? Why does nobody like Austin Theory? Because y'all liked him 2 years ago and he was with Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy. So, what? I don't know. I spent about 2 days arguing with these people in this group, and then they ended up suspending my activity. So, for that, I say I won. And CM Punk is still buried. I can't believe Tony Khan buried him in his hometown. He is buried. And I can't wait. The day, I swear to God, the day that I am unsuspended in this chat, I think it's February 10th. The day I'm unbanned in this chat, I'm going in to remind them that CM Punk is buried. He's buried. I did all that out. Ali's request has been denied. It does look like he is sticking around in WWE, whether it's his choice or not. It was said that he has about a little bit over a year. He put out a tweet and said, no, I don't want to be in the Royal Rumble. I want my WWE release. I don't know if they're just not releasing him because he did it on Twitter. And honestly, that's what my thought is. It's because he did it on Twitter. But I honestly feel like he would just be better just doing what they asked him to do for the next year. Sounds like to me this is going to be a Rey Mysterio situation or a Matt Hardy situation. Years ago, they were trying to be released, and WWE wouldn't release them, especially Rey Mysterio. WWE wouldn't release them, and then they just started refusing to work, and then WWE started adding the days that they missed to their contract, so it was just this whole big-ass thing. I feel like that's exactly what this Ali thing is. I feel like he is just going to kind of refuse to work at this point, and I feel like they're just kind of gonna let him, and then they're just gonna renew his contract. I feel like this is just gonna very much be a game of cat and mouse. It's very much gonna be a game of cat and mouse, so I really feel like he should maybe just play along for now. Matt Cadonia, Zack Ryder has turned heel in Impact, beating, is her name Jordan? Beating Jordan for the Digital Championship. Heel Matt has been going crazy on the indie scenes, so I'm really happy that they're actually bringing this to TV and giving this more light. Again, like I said in my last episode, there's a lot of great things happening down in Impact, and there's just a lot of people not talking about it simply because I think there's just a lot of people that don't know. But there is a lot of great shit happening down in Impact, and him turning heel just basically adds to that. And I'm really excited for Impact and just kind of seeing where it goes, but I really am praying that they move to another channel, because they definitely need another channel for sure. Let's get into the Royal Rumble match. Not the match, but the show. The Royal Rumble show. First of all, I want to say, firstly, The people in my section, well, it wasn't my section, but we'll talk about that too. The people in the section I was in were cool as fuck, bro. I swear to God, we literally stood the whole show. From 6 to 11, we stood and we talked wrestling the whole show. Like, it was crazy. The only match I actually sat down for a second was Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Like, I had sat down for like maybe the first 5 minutes of their match, and then I ended up going back to stand with them by the entrance ramp because people started coming in and looking for their seats. Now, where I was standing by the entrance ramp was not my seat. This was actually my seat, and I did have a perfect ring view, and actually, if I would have sat in my seat, I would have been on TV. That's what's so crazy. I would have been on fucking TV, but I wouldn't have got those moments coming out of that entranceway. And for me, I love the matches and all that, but the entrance, the presentation, the music, the pyro, the entrances is where it's at. Always has been for me. Like, I just love the entrances. I need the entrance ramp. I literally walked into the arena. I set my title. I sat in the seat, took the picture that I just showed you. I took the picture, my title, and my coat down. I took all the valuables out my coat because I knew I was setting it down for the show. I set my coat down and I just left. I told the guy next to me, I'm like, bro, can you wash this? I'm about to go to the bathroom. I wasn't going to the bathroom. I was looking for the entrance ramp. So I'm walking around, like looking for the entrance ramp, And somebody was like, one of the security was like, oh, you need help finding your seat? I'm like, no, I'm trying to go to the bathroom. He's like, oh, it's up there. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm just walking. I'm not going up there. I'm not looking for the fucking bathroom. I'm walking. Aha, found the fucking entranceway. It's right here. Huge, beautiful, gorgeous. It's here. It's there. It's amazing. Look at it. I was like 2 sections around the corner. Everybody was just really cool about me standing there. Like, nobody really gave a fuck. Security came over like during the pre-show and was like, there was a whole like, there wasn't a lot of us by the barricade, but I say there was like a good 10, 15 of us by the barricade just kind of standing there talking. And security came over and was like, oh yeah, we're going to need all you guys in your seats. We can't have you guys all standing right here once the show starts. You guys need to be seated during the show. So like, we all just kind of laugh like... And I just told them, like, they have no idea what they're in for. Like, I looked at the dude next to me like, bro, they have no idea what's about to take place. Like, they honestly have no idea what's about to take place. So they're like, yeah, we need you guys to be seated the whole show, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Roman Reigns' music hits. This is maybe about 5-10 minutes later. Roman Reigns' music hits. The whole section, I mean, people from this little pocket over here, people from up there, they literally flood the barricade. Everybody, they just flood the barricade. Security just look at each other and look back at us, and they didn't say nothing to us for the rest of the night. And the guy next to me was like, yeah, bro, it's more of us than it is of them. So what are they gonna do? Like, legitimately, bro, they were just like, shocked. Like, I don't think they had ever, like, I think they were just like, what the fuck, grown people still watch wrestling? Like, I think maybe they thought it was just gonna be kids or something, but they like, what the fuck, grown people watch this shit? Grown people excited about this shit? They run into the barricade? Like, yes, bro, this is our life. This is our life. I actually feel like right now I'm being consumed by wrestling, like, more and more day by day, and I'm honestly so excited. Like, this is all I've ever wanted, to just be consumed by wrestling. So please keep following me, keep subscribing, keep liking, because this is only the beginning. This is only going to get better. I think I'm going to WrestleMania. We'll talk about that on Monday's show. But it's only going to get better. Royal Rumble was probably my favorite live event I've ever been to. The people I sat around were amazing. We literally sat and talked wrestling the whole time. The Royal Rumble's already my favorite pay-per-view. So I really genuinely feel like the Royal Rumble show that I just went to was my favorite show that I had ever been to. Like, ever. And I've been to every show in Wisconsin since I was like 6, aside from one. And that was because I got fucked by fucking, what do you call that? StubHub? Was it StubHub? Yeah. And I'm not even going to get into that fucking story, but don't use StubHub. Only use Ticketmaster, because I got fucking got, and I missed my first show ever. I think that was like 2019. I don't remember what year, but I know it was March 5th. I know it was March 5th. So, of course, as you all know, Ronda Rousey has came back and won the Royal Rumble. As I said in my Royal Rumble predictions episode, Ronda does not belong. I genuinely wish Ronda would go the fuck away. But clearly she's not going away because she's about to main event WrestleMania against Charlotte or Becky Lynch. And she does pick her opponent tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. I don't like Ronda. Ronda tried to get her heat by calling the business fake and all that. And sure, it was probably storyline. Sure, it probably, helped her get her heat, obviously, because I genuinely don't like her. And I feel like that's probably why all the tweets she was saying or how fake it was and all the interviews she went in talking about how fake it was. Like, Ronda Rousey is a legitimate athlete. So for you to spend 2 years in wrestling and then leave and then go do interviews and say, oh yeah, that shit is so fake and oh, it's so fake, it was a waste of my time, that gives us no credibility. That gives wrestling zero credibility. Like, you were one of the main legitimate staples, if not the main legitimate staple, in the women's division for about 2 years. You do all that, then you leave and say, oh yeah, that was so fake, it was a waste of my time. What? The disrespect. The disrespect. I just don't like it. I know it was just to get her heat. I know it was just for her to, make fans not like her and all that. And obviously it worked. It worked for me. It worked for Nia Jax. Nia Jax was tweeting her all kind of shit. It worked. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of her. I don't like her. Get her out of here. She's out of it. Get her out of here. I don't like her. The men's Royal Rumble was hot garbage. Hot garbage. And I thought that the men's Royal Rumble was kind of going to steal the show just because it was very, under advertised. They hadn't really announced any surprises or anything like that. So I almost kind of thought the men's Royal Rumble was going to steal the show. Boy, was I wrong. The men's Royal Rumble was awful. It was honestly awful. I didn't really mind Brock Lesnar winning. I know a lot of people are saying it's awful because Brock Lesnar won. I don't really mind Brock Lesnar winning, but I feel like the Royal Rumble as a whole was awful. We didn't really get a lot of prizes this year at all. Besides Shane McMahon, Drew McIntyre, we didn't really get that many surprises. But I also feel like we didn't get that many surprises because when they do give us a lot of surprises, y'all complain and say that the legends are taking their spots. So I also feel like that is why we didn't get a lot of surprises, because when they do give us surprises, it's, oh, the boogeyman took Finn Balor's spot. The Godfather took Ricochet's spot. Shut up. That's probably why we didn't get fucking surprises. I genuinely believe that's probably why we didn't get surprises, because they're like, you know what? We're damned if we do. We're damned if we don't. So they didn't give us any surprises. Some surprises that we did not get that I was really surprised about, there was word going around that Paige was cleared. I don't know how true it was since she didn't return, but they did say Paige was cleared. Also, I know there's a lot of new people. I don't believe dirt sheets at all. Dirt sheets are like a 80-20 with me. And the 20 is me not believing them. I don't really believe dirt sheets. I take them with a grain of salt. But Paige did not return. Trish did not return. Trish baited me the whole time. Trish got me. And then she posted this after the Royal Rumble, sitting on her couch, drinking coffee. She got me. She completely got me. There was no Bayley. There was no Lacey Evans. I was really expecting to see Lacey Evans. I know I didn't say her name last week. I completely forgot to write her name down. I was definitely looking for Lacey Evans. There was no Alexa Bliss, but I kind of expected no Alexa because she's still kind of unraveling back into the goddess. And there was also no Asuka, so I don't really know where Asuka is. Bayley, I heard, would be cleared by March because it was a torn ACL I think she had, and I think that legitimately takes about 9 months to heal. So I heard that Bayley will be back sometime in March. Cesaro was not in the Men's Royal Rumble, and he did say that he was kind of disappointed that he was not in the Men's Rumble. Finn Balor was also not in the Men's Royal Rumble, but it has been reported that Finn Balor is in Ireland because he's had a family emergency. So prayers up to Finn Balor. We do hope that his family is okay or whatever happened. it might not even be true that he's having family issues, but he is out of the country. It was reported by a dirt sheet. That's why I'm saying it might not be true, but it might be true. If it is true, prayers up to him, or he might just be on vacation out the country. Like, who truly knows? But prayers up if there is something genuinely wrong with his family. Shane McMahon returned at the Royal Rumble and has been fired before Monday Night Raw. Fired because he is a McMahon. They're not going to fucking fire a McMahon, but he's come and gone very quickly. Apparently, he was all over the Men's Royal Rumble. He shot down a lot of ideas for the Men's Royal Rumble. He made himself a top 5 for the Royal Rumble. Again, we don't know how true any of this is, but apparently he has legitimately been let go. So there has to be some type of truth behind it. But as far as what really, really happened, we'll never really know. We'll never really know. There was a fan that was nice enough to give me their chair. So when you buy the really expensive tickets, like for pay-per-views and stuff like that, not like the $600 tickets, but I'm talking like the $1,500 tickets, because tickets go up to about like $4K. Legitimately, $4K, $4,000, $5,000. There were tickets to the Royal Rumble that were like $5,000, $6,000 to sit right there, camera side, right there on the like hard camera way. So there were like people with like $1,500 tickets. Did I say $1,000? $4,000. Yeah, that's right. $1,500 tickets, and they were just like, I literally stood up on the like a little gray chair, and I'm like, does anybody not want their chair? We were leaving out. Everybody's like untying their chairs and shit. I'm like, does anybody not want their chair? There's this dude right there with 4 chairs, bro. And then his wife has another 2 behind him. And he's like, here, bro. I'm like, you sure? He's like, yeah, here, bro. So funny story with the chair. I actually almost bought this chair with my ticket because you could buy it with the ticket. I did actually buy a souvenir ticket. Like, it's like a souvenir Royal Rumble ticket. So that'll be coming in the mail, and I'm just going to hang it on my set somewhere. I literally just bought it to put on my set. So that'll be in the mail soon. But the chair I actually almost bought with my ticket as well, but the chair was $200. It was $200. So I'm like, I'm not gonna buy this chair, but I'm not gonna lie, I was very, very tempted. But basically, when you're leaving out, they have to check your ticket so that the ticket says chair. If the ticket doesn't say chair, you cannot walk out with the chair. So I'm walking up to the door, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna blend in with the people that don't have chairs. I get up there, and they're like, oh, you have a chair, go that way. You don't have a chair, that way. No chairs this way, chairs that way. No chairs this way, chairs that way. So, like, I'm in line, and there's literally people, like, there's, like, 6 to 8 people in front of me, and he's taking, like, all of their chairs. He's like, oh, your ticket doesn't say chair, I have to take the chair. Your ticket doesn't say chair, I have to take the chair. Your ticket doesn't say chair, I have to take the chair. He took, like, 3 people's chairs in front of me. He even took the girl's chair that was, like, directly in front of me. So, when I seen he took her chair, I'm like, fuck, I'm screwed. My ticket doesn't say chair. I turn my phone off immediately. I get up there, and he's like, I need to see your ticket. I'm like, my phone's dead. My phone's dead. What do you want me to do? My phone's dead. He's like, well, you can either give me the chair or you can go over here and they'll ship it. They'll mail it to your house. And so, like, they have, like, a little area where they'll mail you the chair. And it was, like, $35, $40, something like that. So I went over there and they're going to mail me the chair. So I'm waiting on the chair. I should have the chair at any moment now, I guess. It said it was supposed to be delivered today, but then when I looked today, it said it's delayed because of weather conditions. So I don't know where the fuck the chair is, but the chair is on its way. Lastly, the WrestleMania sign was on fire. It was on fire. I don't think I uploaded this video, but this was after the Royal Rumble as we were walking out. This was after Randy Orton and Matt Riddle did the pose in the ring and stuff. This was as we were walking out. They were trying to see where the fire came from, what started the fire. So that's what that video is. There were 2 chants I started during the Royal Rumble. I started the bro chant, and that I'll show you here. chant I started, and I'm so mad I didn't record this because I feel like I didn't record it, so I don't have proof. Like, anybody can tell me I'm lying, and I can't be like, oh no, bro, this really did happen, and you could still sit there and be like, oh no, he's lying. I don't have proof. But I started the yes chants with Brie Bella. When Brie Bella came out and she was in the ring doing her little thing, I started the yes chants, bro. I swear to God, I'm literally over there, yes, 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 yes. Then the little pocket of people, I started doing it, yes, 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 yes. Then the people behind me, everybody starts doing it, yes, 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 yes. Then I look up and Brie is in the ring like, yes, yes, yes. I'm like, bro, people are walking up to me like, bro, that was awesome, that was awesome. Like, and I'm just sitting there like, bro, I didn't record any of that. And then Brie Bella made a Instagram post the next day, and she was like, oh my God, I really love this moment. It made me feel Brian's energy. And I'm just sitting there like, I started this. I don't have any proof. I don't have any fucking proof, but I swear to God, I started the. Can somebody from my section, if you subscribe to the podcast, because I did tell a lot of people to subscribe, but it was like after everybody's phone was dead. I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but I had told everybody like as we were leaving, and they're like, oh bro, my phone is dead. Like, of course it is. Like, I don't know why I'm just now telling you, but if you found my podcast, can you please confirm that I started this yes chant with Brie Bella, please? If you came up to me and you said, bro, that was awesome, that was amazing, please comment. I do not want to seem like a liar. Like, this is, I literally thought about it that whole next day. Like, I cannot believe I didn't record this. I cannot believe I didn't record this. Tonight on SmackDown, Ronda Rousey picks her WrestleMania opponent. I feel like it's obviously going to be Charlotte Flair, because why did you go to SmackDown to pick your opponent? More matches for the Elimination Chamber, I'm sure, are going to be announced. Goldberg possibly will be returning to face Roman Reigns, and this will be Goldberg's last contractual match with WWE. So hopefully they do this match in Saudi Arabia and Goldberg goes the fuck away. I'm very interested to see what is next for the boss. What's next for Sasha Banks? What is next for the boss? On Monday's episode, it is a non-wrestling episode. I'm not exactly sure what topic we'll talk about. I do know that I have this vulnerability thing in my back pocket. I'm not sure if I want to talk about that. I do know for sure I will be talking about St. Louis. Because St. Louis was, how can I put this nicely? Filthy. It was filthy. St. Louis was filthy. And we'll talk about that on Monday's show. There's a lot of great content coming to the Common Sense Ain't Common podcast. I'll be doing a lot of interviews and collabs coming up. I'm hoping to connect with some people that I met at the Royal Rumble and have them on the podcast and just really get some nice, strong wrestling talk on the podcast. Let's talk wrestling. Let's talk wrestling. And I think we're just going to do that under the title of Used to Watch Wrestling, like I did previously. And we'll just do that with different people. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please click that like button. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. I hope you're still watching. I hope you're still there. See y'all on Monday.
Cold dog, that nigga cold dog. I got a cold shoulder for a fuck nigga if he prove he a mall. I'm pulling up, I got the hammer. She ain't there throwing that ass at me, but I would not fuck if she Bama. She call me Billy like badass, I call her Billy like Jean. I never slack on the fast cash, even the jacket is jean. If it's a problem, I'm coming direct. I ended up making a scene, cause I've been through hell